Hello FPL managers, today we've got the players to avoid coming to Gameweek 1 of the new FPL season. In today's video, we take a look at 5 options that could be worthwhile leaving out of the squads that currently do have a fairly high ownership because they overperformed last season or they don't have the best start in terms of fixtures. So just before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the video, and also click the notification bell so you guys don't miss any future uploads. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So taking a look at the first player to avoid, it is Stuart Dallas. Dallas has seen a price rise to £5.5 million as well as a position change from defender to midfielder. Despite this, Dallas still has an 18% ownership, which does make him the 6th highest owned midfielder in FPL currently. Last season, Dallas scored himself 171 FPL points, which did actually make him the highest scoring defender. He was 10 points higher than any other defender in the game. This came about as he got himself 8 goals, 3 assists, as well as 12 clean sheets, but as I said before, he did have a position change to midfielder, so this season he won't be getting those extra clean sheet points. If he was a midfielder last year, you could have projected him to get around 50 less points, because he got 36 extra points from clean sheets as a defender, plus the bonus points associated with that as well. So since he has been changed to a midfielder, it could be worthwhile steering clear of Stuart Dallas. So coming into the new season, Dallas has a predicted Gameweek 1 points of 2.5, as Leeds have a very tricky fixture start to the season where they face Manchester United and Everton in the first 2, but then Burnley in the 3rd game week. Also, Dallas had an XG of 4.46 last year, despite scoring 8 goals. This is obviously a significant overperformance, so you would expect his goal tally to drop significantly this year. Moving on to the second player, it is Teemu Pukki. Teemu Pukki is coming in at £6 million in the Norwich forward line and is owned by 10.1% of managers, which does make him the 9th highest owned forward. In the 2019-20 FPL season, Teemu Pukki was very impressive, getting himself 139 points. This came about as he got himself 11 goals and 3 assists and had a fairly impressive expected goals of 11.52. But with the departure of 𝘽𝙖𝙤𝙤𝙗𝙠 from that Norwich midfield, it does significantly decrease his XG and 𝙁𝙖𝙤𝙤 for the upcoming campaign. 𝘽𝙤𝙤 was very impressive for Norwich in the Championship, as in his 39 appearances he got himself 15 goals and 16 assists, many of those were supplied to Teemu Pukki. So with the lack of creativity in that Norwich forward line now with 𝘽𝙤𝙤's departure, I do think Pukki will see a lower performance than he did get in the 2019-20 season. Also, Norwich have a very difficult start to the season in terms of their fixtures, as in the first 4 game weeks, all 4 matches have an FPL rating of a 4 or above, as they face Liverpool, Man City, Leicester and Arsenal over this duration. So especially for the short term anyway, it could be worthwhile steering clear of Teemu Pukki. And moving on to the third player to avoid, it is the English midfielder Mason Mount. Mason Mount has come off an OK Euros tournament for himself and is priced at £7.5 million in the middle of the park. Mason Mount currently has a very high ownership of 21%, which actually makes him the 5th highest owned midfielder in FPL. This is slightly surprising as he could only manage 147 points last year, getting himself just 6 goals and 7 assists. This was accompanied by 14 extra points for clean sheets, but the main source of Mason Mount's points were his bonus points, where he got himself 16 across the season. Having a look at Chelsea's fixtures to start the season, they have Crystal Palace at home in Gameweek 1, which is no doubt a very good fixture, but after that they face Arsenal and Liverpool, then Villa, Spurs and Man City, so I think in those first 6 matches for Chelsea, there is a fair few difficult games in there. Also, having a look at Mason Mount's price tag of £7.5 million, I do think there's many good alternatives for that same price range, such as the likes of Jack Grealish or Rafinha. Also, other good options could include a Bukayo Saka or James Maddison, Diogo Jota or Harvey Barnes. So I just think with that many good alternatives at his price tag and Chelsea's difficult starting fixtures, he could be worthwhile steering clear of for the start of the campaign. Also, Mason Mount only had an XG of 6.88 last season, so I just think with the few chances that he is getting to score goals, he isn't the best value in the middle of the park, and also he has some good Chelsea teammates as alternatives, such as the likes of Pulisic or Kai Havertz. So moving on to yet another midfielder, it is James Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse is coming in at £6.5 million and has an 8.1% ownership, so he is moderately differential. Ward-Prowse was actually very impressive for Southampton last year, as he was the 9th highest scoring midfielder in FPL with 156 points. This came about as he got himself 8 goals, 7 assists and also 9 extra points for the clean sheets, so he actually was fairly impressive on the attack for Southampton. But if you have a look at his underlying stats, he only had an XG of 5 and an XA of 4, as many of his goals and assists came from free kicks and corners. Obviously, this is not a very substantial point scoring system for FPL, and I just think since he doesn't get that many attacking returns from open play, you can expect his goal and assist output to decrease this season. So I can see why people are tempted with him by his £6.5 million price tag, but since he lacks a creativity from open play, he may not be the best option. Having a look at Southampton's fixtures, they face Everton, United, Newcastle and West Ham as their first 4, but then they face City, Wolves and Chelsea after that, so in the first 7 game weeks they do have some very difficult fixtures, so I just think it could be worthwhile steering clear of James Ward-Prowse. Now having a look at the 5th and final player to avoid, it is Roberto Firmino. Firmino is coming in at a pretty pricey £9 million and is positioned as a forward with a 5.4% ownership. Firmino was decent last season as he was the 6th highest scoring forward, getting himself 141 FPL points. Over the span of last season, he recorded himself 9 goals and 8 assists, but did have an XG of 12.86. This was actually the 3rd highest amongst his Liverpool teammates, as it was only 2 behind 𝙁𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙗𝙠 𝘽𝙬. Also, Firmino is projected 4.6 game week 1 points, as Liverpool have a very promising start to the season with their fixtures. They faced Norwich and Burnley as their first 2, then Chelsea after that, but then they have a very good run of Leeds, Palace and Brentford, which is definitely good from an attacking standpoint. But with Firmino's £9 million price tag, he isn't the best value up top, as there are many good strikers that are cheaper than him, such as the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Patrick Bamford. Also, the likes of Ivan Toney, Ollie Watkins or 𝙁𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙗𝙠 could all be more tempting options than Roberto Firmino, as they did score more points than him last year and they are cheaper. Also, Firmino's minutes may not be the most confirmed, as there was a couple of games last season where 𝙁𝙠 did get the nod ahead of him, so for that reason Firmino is a player to avoid. So that's all I've got for today for the players to avoid for the new FPL season. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to show support for the channel, and also click that notification bell so you guys don't miss any future uploads. Leave a comment what you guys thought of this list of players to avoid, and do you currently have any of these players in your squad. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.